Hey guys, what's up? It's Army Ranger 55555 here with another video. This one is on 3 good budget decks for the 2015 July format. Deck number 1, which I'm showing right now, is a very good and consistent. Well, I wouldn't say 100% consistent, but it's a good deck. It's Black Wings. This deck can do some major damage. It can set up decent shutdown if you can get the right combos out. Heavily synchro based deck. Does a lot of special summoning. This is a budget deck. The main deck you can get with the main synchros that you would need between $50 and $75 if you buy your cards at retail. You can get them cheaper, and you can run a cheaper version of the deck. You can cut out cards like Triple Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin has gone up a lot in price. Fiendish Chain, $6 a piece for the common. Some other cards in here that have gone up drastically in price. Hot Red's about a $9 card. Nodin, that's an expensive card. I believe Nodin is only OCG right now, but is still very expensive. Goyo, $6 at its cheapest. So this is just my build of it. I'm not going to do profiles on all these decks right now, but again, you can build this deck for between $50 to $75. I have seen this deck at regionals. This isn't exactly a deck you would run. You wouldn't run this deck in high competition like Nationals. This deck is pushing between tiers 2 and 3 depending on the build. It is a good deck though. I like the deck because it's synchro based. That's kind of my thing. I like the deck personally. It's a good deck in my opinion, but it's not nationals worthy. You'll never see one at the top where Shaddoll, Star Seraph, and stuff like that will sit, but it's a good deck and it can be very competitive. Deck number 2 that I would like to show is, if it'll load, my Ritual Beast deck. Hey guys, what's up? It's Army Ranger 55555 here with a budget deck video talking about 3 great budget decks that you can run competitively for, let's just go under 150 bucks. These 3 decks can be made very cheap and they're very competitive decks. Deck number 1, of course, Blackwing. Blackwing is a good deck. It's heavily synchro based. It can be very consistent and it's very competitive. This deck can do some pretty annoying combos, just like decks like Yang Zing, Ritual Beast, Shaddoll. It can do annoying combos. Now the deck has gained a little support and lost support through the last ban list since its release in 2014. The deck is it's a good deck, but it's not tier 1. It's been bouncing in between 2, 3, 2 and 3 tier. It's a good deck. I would rate it myself at tier 2, but not tier 1. The deck has the possibility to go there if it were to get more balanced support and more consistent support. So that is just my opinion on the deck. You can build this deck for anywhere between $50 to $75, but your extra deck can boost the price up anywhere between $75, and I've seen decks with extra decks costing up to $200-300 with all the extra and with some support added in like Raigeki, Triple Upstart, Double Fiendish, stuff like that can really add price quickly. Raigeki right now is going for between $15 and $30. I've seen them go as high as $40 for certain copies of the card. Upstart Goblin, this card can go anywhere between, I've seen it go as low as $3, I've seen it go as high as $21. Fiendish Chain can go anywhere between $6 and $19. And then cards for the extra deck like Beals. Beals is $18 all day long. Trish is, I bought mine, but mine is in Japanese. I've seen the English copy of the card go for as low as $32. I've also seen the card go for as much as $130 for the Dual Terminal 7. So, enough about this deck. Next deck I'd like to talk about is one that I've talked about quite a bit, but I don't actually play, and it's my friend uses it, and it's a fun deck. Is Ritual Beast. This deck is tier 2. It has the potential to be tier 1 at any time. This deck is a very, very consistent, very annoying deck. Its main force is to get out. It is to go into its fusion cards by contact fusion. Doesn't need a poly anywhere in the deck. Look through, you will not find any poly ever because of their contact fuse. And then, oh excuse me, but all the cards except for the main beater, Alta Gaia Pelio, all these Alta Pelio, Alta Cannahawk, and Alta Peta all have the effect of when targeted or targeted for attack or card effect, I think they can defuse. And this deck uses the Banish Zone religiously. It is very based on what goes into the Banish Zone. If you can shut down the Banish Zone, though, you can shut down this deck. This deck, my friend has built his for around $65. I've seen him get built for anywhere between $65 and $105. The deck, it's not very expensive. It is a very, very competitive deck, and this is a deck to watch out for. It's getting new support soon. There's rumors going around that it's getting a new fusion, a new monster, and a new tamer. If it does, this deck can and will pass tier 2 and go straight into tier 1. This deck is extremely powerful in tier 2. In my opinion, it should be a tier 1 deck. Again, $65 to $105 is fair. The most expensive part of the deck is this card right here, Emergency Teleport. About 20 bucks a piece, 27 bucks a card. You can cut out, and you don't need to run 3. You can consistently run 1. So this will make up most of the price of the deck right here. The most expensive fusion, of course, is Alta Gaia Pelio, the main beater that can negate pretty much anything by discarding a Ritual Beast from your hand. It's a very annoying card. If you see this card out on the field, shut it down as quickly as possible. And the last deck is my favorite deck of all time. I love this deck to death. Yang Zings. This is a power deck. This deck just got upgraded to tier 1 from tier 2 with the July format. This deck is extremely consistent with summoning. This deck will special summon as quickly as possible. You will go into everything, all synchros. This is heavily synchro based. You can run XYZs. It is an option. It is not fun to do, but it is possible. This deck can cost anywhere between $75 to as high as $400. But most people will pay about $120, $130 for the deck and the extra. My deck has cost me myself around $65, and my deck is done. This is exactly what my deck is, except instead of CED, my deck has Solemn Warning, and instead of Soul Charge, I have Book of Moon. But I will be trading out an MST for Soul Charge. I'm waiting for my Soul Charge and my Book of Moon to come in right now. But this deck can be very expensive if you put money into your extra deck. For example, I talked about Trish. It can go up to $110, $120. Beals, talked about $17 card. Red Dragon Archfiend Hot Red. I run normal Red Dragon Archfiend in my deck, but this card can cost up to $10, $12. Clearwing isn't that expensive. Goyo can be expensive. And you can also run alternative cards to take up spots. Like in my deck, when I wasn't running Beals, I run Black Rose in my real deck. I don't in this because I'm testing out different cards right now. I should have side decked it. I didn't. But main deck, the most expensive card in your main deck is going to be your 2 tuners. Jiaotu is about $10 a piece right now. You do have the possibility to pull it from the new challengers. If you pull one, it is an instant $10 card. Chuen is about $5 a pop. And Fiendish, talked about. Creation, about $5 a pop. Other than that, Bixie's like $1. Bixie's like a $2 card. Oh, yeah, I forgot Path. Path in English is $20 a piece. Path in Japanese is like $2.50 a piece. All three of mine are in Japanese. This card is a must-have in the deck. It is very difficult to run this deck without a single path. So if you're going to build the deck, do yourself a favor, buy the triple path. If you want it in English, it's going to cost you about 60 bucks. And my deck currently, I bought my cards from friends who own card shops and stuff like that, and I was able to get my deck pretty cheap, and my deck is done. You can go check out my deck profile on my channel. Other than that, though, this deck is pretty cheap, except for your extra deck. Again, this deck just got upgraded to Tier 1 with the 2015 July format. This is a very consistent deck, a very fun deck to play yourself, because you can add on effects from your monsters that are used in the Synchro Summon, like right here, Bixie. When used as part of a Synchro Summon, the Synchro monster gains the ability to be unaffected by trap cards. So, all the monsters except for the tuners add an effect. The only non-Yang Zing monster I run is Masked Chameleon, which in my real deck, he's sided out for Junk Synchron, but I like testing things on DevPro here. Remember to check out the rest of my channel. I'm always adding videos. I just added a video not too long ago. Go check it out. Again, final note, this deck is it can get kind of expensive, but these are 3 decks that if you want to play competitive, you really should look into these decks. I've seen Ritual Beasts. They've made it into the top of YCS. Yang Zing now has the potential with the new cards added back, like Trish just got unbanned, and Chu Wen just got added in, which is the main negator of the Yang Zing cards. So, watch out for this deck. Watch out for Ritual Beasts. That's all I have to say. Army Ranger 55555 signing out. If you have any comments and you'd like to say something, I'm always listening. Just type it in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe. I am signing out.